Well, hello there. I'm Sandy.
And I'm from the classic movie Grease.
This motion picture,
Directed by Randall Kleiser, is one of the first movies that combine comedy and romance into one motion picture spectacular.
Yeah, we get it. Grease is a classic. Why don't you razz my berries?
Oh, Rizzo, don't have a cow. Anyways,
this motion picture has influenced us culturally in more ways than we think. Give me a strawberry slurg.
I'll get that right up for you.
Just think, 1959, the pathway into the 60s. It was a pivotal time for American culture. What was once focused on rock and roll would turn into a time focused on a new rebellion. Revolution. Grease embodies the period from the 50s going into the 60s. A more specific example is the main character herself, Sandy D. From start to finish, a clear transformation is apparent. At the start, Sandy is a very long skirt, pastel, cardigan kind of girl. And at the end, she is now a leather jacket, skin tack clothing kind of girl. Why don't you go take a look?
I'm not gonna getting a cold.
Oh, no. It's just probably a little driving dust, that's all.
Could space monsters mate with Earth women? See the startling answer in The Shocker of them All.
Danny!
Sandy! Oh, Sandy.
Danny, what's he doing?
Oh, Sandy, don't worry about it. Nobody's watching.
Danny, get off me!
Sandy, what's the matter with you? I thought I meant something to you.
To you? You think I'm gonna stay here with you in this sin wagon?
you can see here how the scene demonstrates good girl Sandy as she refuses to get down and dirty with Danny.
Sandy's good girl character takes a turn when she realizes she still has feelings for Danny at Thunder Road. Take a look here. This scene sparked her desire to change her character in hopes of still winning Danny over.
Wholesome and pure, oh so scared and unsure. Sandra,
Isn't that great?
yeah.
What's the matter? Aren't you happy?
No, not really, Frenchie, but I think I know a way I could be. Would you help me?
Of course, come on.
Sandy, you must start anew. Don't you know what you must do? Hold your head high, take a deep breath and sigh.
Come on, Sandy!
Goodbye to Sandra Dee.
Now observe Sandy in her final transformation.
Sandy?
Tell me about it, Stud.
Sandy's final scene with her new bad girl look reflects the pivotal movement within the American culture, as Sandy changes from the traditional woman and becomes a more rebellious one.
Strawberry slurg.
Aw, jeez. It's them again.
Not only has Grease influenced our modern culture, but it also has a crazy sociological impact.
The film clearly shows the moral panics of the previous generation of parents and the ever-changing gender roles of the newer generation in the 1950s. Also, it represents that women are only interested in a man if he is healthy. In the scene, the director portrays the idea that a man should look good for a woman.
Blast.
Summer loving happens so fast.
I met a girl crazy for me.
Met a boy cute as can be.
Summer days drifting away to other summer nights.
Tell me more, did you get very far?
Tell me more, like does he have a car?
Grease sets a high standard for men in which they should have a car and have a bad boy personality, yet is still a gentleman.
She swam by me, she got a cramp.
He ran by me, got my so damn.
I saved her life, she nearly drowned.
He showed off, splashing around.
As you can see, Sandy and Danny share two different stories about the same night, which demonstrates the idea of fitting in. Whereas Sandy explains her innocent experience on the beach, Danny explains his side of the story in which he portrays himself as a rowdy rough boy so he could look cool in front of his friends. This shows the impact of the desire to fit in with the cool crowd.
With all the songs and dancing around, it can be said that Grease is more suited for girls than boys, or rather, dolls than guys. The drag racing boosts masculinity within the film.
Along with cultural and sociological impacts, Grease provides like crazy technical techniques. The movie opens with a peppy animation that sets the time and place within just 3 minutes. The director utilizes this animation to create a new type of opening curtain that essentially influenced the art of cinema. As for the lighting within Grease, let me clue you in. The lighting techniques the director uses provides a stage performance tone. You see, Randall Kleiser uses a combination of lighting. The main three he uses are 3-point, high key, and low key, making each scene unique from one another. For starters, 3-point lighting is the basis to all lighting. It's a lighting technique that is widely used in traditional cinema. Its purpose is to properly illuminate a subject in an effective way that the audience gets a kick out of. Cast your eyeball at this scene with Miss Sandy.
But now there's nowhere to hide since you pushed my love aside. I'm out of my head.
In this scene, the director used 3-point lighting to properly highlight the frame and faint shadows that are visible in the background, adding more depth to the frame.
Hopelessly devoted to you.
High key lighting made scenes more energetic and bright. High key lighting is oftentimes used in musicals. This style of lighting impacted the movie by creating a very soft and bright tone. Take a look at the Grease lightning scene.
Hydromatic. Ultramatic. Why could be Grease lightning? Grease lightning. With new pistols, plugs, and shocks, I can get off my rocks. You know that I ain't bragging, she's a real pussy wagon. Grease lightning.
Notice how bright and full of energy the scene is. Well, the director used high key lighting here to create an energetic mood and to also portray a musical appeal. Low key lighting made scenes even more dramatic than others. Take a look at this scene. Notice how dramatic Danny's scene is compared to the Grease lightning scene. Low key lighting casts large dark shadows within the frame. This style of lighting impacted Grease in a more serious way that made the musical scenes more dramatic.
You know it's true.
The visual effects within the film also play a key role that ultimately make this film different than any other pop media films. For instance, let's take a look at this Grease lightning car. The Grease lightning car is a literal representation of happy fairy tales. At the end of the movie, the Grease lightning car appears and flies off into the clouds. The director planned this scene in a way to demonstrate the ultimate happy ending where everything is in the best possible condition. From the lighting and visual effects, these techniques are what make this film so unique. Hey girl, why don't you play yourself a nice song? Oh, Danny.
Grease showcases various genres including romance, comedy, and musicals.
Ooh, ketchup.
These genres, when combined together, make a new take on the teen scene. The movie also delves into the meaning of being a teenager during the 50s and has helped launch many movies that also focused on this particular culture. Grease shocked audiences that were used to conformity, and thus other movies were made with the same goal, to reject the status quo. But don't take my word for it. Take a look at this scene where the school dance took an obvious turn for the more provocative.
Away we go!
Before this era, teens were not invented yet, in the sense that the whole idea of youth is not at all what it is today. It was one of the first to show regular struggles a teen would face, such as exploring their sexuality, class differences, and teen pregnancy, rather than the troubles that existed in times such as the Great Depression and war. The romance in the movie was also seen through the lens of the star-crossed lovers, separated by their many differences, but in the end seeing a unified stance portrayed through Sandy when she ultimately went through a transformation favoring Danny's own image. The transformation also symbolized the difference the country itself underwent with the emergence of sexualized culture.
Overall, Grease has immensely impacted the movie musical genre and has inspired several directorial visions for movies such as Footloose and High School Musical, gaining its title as an all-time classic movie.
Hello, my name is Rendell Glazer, and I am the director of the movie Grease. You know, I was in a lot of musicals back in the 60s, which in a way greatly inspired and helped me to direct the movie Grease. My old high school, Randor High School, go Red Raiders, actually inspired Grease's settings and colors. As you can see, Grease is known to be one of the most successful musicals of all time that influenced and still influences a lot of you people to this day. At the start of the process into making Grease, many believed it would not make it onto the big screen. You see, Barry, we're trying to make a very light, sunny musical. You have written, life is a time of evolution, which is wrapped up in trouble and laced in confusion. We want a happy-go-lucky thing. So, do you think you could change the lyrics? That's what the critics told me. But if you know me, you know I sure as hell did not listen to what those haters had to say. As a director, I have the privilege of creating a world, you know, and control how people see things. I tell the story.